Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 2 Remastered on brutal difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 8 of 26. It is entitled The Secret, or excuse me, the City's Secret. The Secret of the City. Same difference, I suppose. But this is a brief chapter, and there is not any combat in this chapter. There isn't any combat in the next chapter. And then the combat resumes in chapter 10. So the first thing that you need to interact with is this. The trident below does not need to be interacted with. So that is the one piece of the statue of the four pieces that you do not need to interact with. So not much to really talk about in this chapter. So I wanted to mention a couple of tangents. I remember when I was doing the walkthrough a long time ago, somebody mentioned to me, and I believe it was Dennis Carter, a longtime subscriber, and if he's still around, comment in, because I haven't seen him for a while. He made a very generous donation a couple years back, and I never forgot it. He was a very nice individual for doing that, a generous person for doing that. But he directed me over to a channel called Mike Betancourt, and we exchanged a couple of words one time, and I kind of took offense to it, and at the time I was offended, but later I thought that it was just a silly thing to do. But back then, not a silly, it was just silly in hindsight. It was just a misunderstanding of it was a communication that was misunderstood, but his channel back then was 75,000 subscribers strong, and he was doing the Brutal trilogy. And now I just looked over at his channel, and he's got 100,000 more subscribers than he had before. And I absolutely cannot believe that somebody who is so similar to me, and so similar to a lot of other folks that, have fewer than 25,000 subscribers, or around about there, or somewhere in between. I mean, but look at me. I don't even have 7,000. But I don't say this criticism very. I'm kind of reserved about my criticism of Mike Betancourt's channel, because the thing about him, I think he's. I don't know what country he's from, but I know he lives in the United States now. But I find him extremely. Well, first of all, before I criticize him, let me just... And criticism itself is not a bad thing. It's not. The criticism can be helpful, but he is a very gifted and skilled player. Like, he is probably better at Uncharted than I am, but the thing about him is I find him, and I don't think there's anything wrong with my saying this, I find him extremely boring. Like, you talk about me being very technical about my walkthroughs. He hardly ever says any jokes. There's hardly any levity with his commentary. It's just one thing after another with what's going on the screen. And a lot of times when nothing's happening, he won't even say anything. There will be many, many dead silences on his commentary. And I can't understand how somebody who I find so boring to listen to. And I'm not saying his guides aren't helpful, because they really are. I've only ever seen his Uncharted walkthroughs, and they're very helpful. He's got one of the brutal guides on YouTube, but I can't understand people who would want to listen to him talk on a daily basis, because he just drones on in a monotone, and there's so many silences, and it's just like, I would not listen to this person unless I was genuinely needing help with a walkthrough. Like, if he was playing something that I wasn't playing and didn't need help on, I'd be gone. I'd split. It's just too boring. And if he wants to he'll never listen to this, because these people with the large channels, they don't respond to comments. They don't listen to other people hardly, because they're so big. They've got the money, and they say they don't have time. And yet he hasn't published content, I don't think, in a few months. But I don't understand it. And people say they're really curious why people don't watch my videos. I don't know. There's a lot of factors, but I don't the whole story about it. But It's strange. YouTube is just a strange game. I've just always been on the losing side of things with regard to the numbers and the channel growth statistics and things like that. But I'm just here to have fun. Numbers and statistics be damned. Take care.